Hey guys, today I want to tell you about the next stage of the CTE, the Teamplay and Objectives section of the CTE. Now I've got some pretty exciting news regarding that, but also going to be talking about today this channel. I'm going to be talking about how I want to develop this channel going forward. It's a bit of an update day, and I'm kind of backtracking in a way, but I'll get onto that in a minute and explain about that. But first of all, the CTE. Now, the next CTE is the, as I say, the Teamplay and Objective one. It's described as the next initiative on the CTE will be called the Teamplay Initiative. They're going to focus on improving teamplay and the objective aspects of playing Battlefield, which of course I love. This is going to include everything from commander, squads, field upgrades, game mode improvements, features, and bug fixes. Now, the exciting thing is that today I was contacted by Thomas Anderson, one of the DICE developers, and he has asked, he said, as an objective player, we would value your specific feedback. Can you send us an email document listing your high priority fixes for team play and objective gameplay? That's really, really very positive for me. It's very exciting for me. And so I asked them if I could tell you guys about the fact that they've asked me to do this, and if then I can get feedback from you guys, because I know a lot of you guys that subscribe to me, you also value objective play. That's why a lot of people that come to my server enjoy it and why they get on with it. And so I really want to hear what you guys think and what we can do to improve the team play and the objectivity. Now, something that's going to be really important as well, guys, is I am not going to be passing through loads of information about netcode feedback, bug fixes, blah blah blah. They know this stuff already, and that's not what I want to convey. I want to be thinking about the team play aspects, the objective aspects. They don't need to be hearing that lock-on missiles are irritating. They don't need to hear that. So if those are your kind of comments, either list a very specific reason why it's damaging to objective gameplay, or just don't think of those things, okay? Because that's not the kind of stuff I'm looking for. We're thinking of ways that we can encourage objective gameplay, ways that we can push teams to sort of get involved in the game. That's the sort of stuff we need to put together. That's the stuff we want to put across. We don't need just the spam of stuff that we've heard a million times before. The stuff that people have been ranting about for the last 6 months. We don't need that. It's been said. It's all been said. We need to think of some better things that are actually going to improve the way that people play the game. That's what we need to do. That's what we need to give through to the guys at DICE. I am not going to be telling them that we should increase points, okay? As I have explained before, I consider that to be an irrelevant thing to do. It may have some extremely minor effect, but I don't really believe that it will. I think that potentially one of the biggest things that we could do, I really think it may have some small impact, would be to adjust how the final scoreboard listings are. Much sort of turn it back to how it used to be. I think that could have some impact. But also, I mean, we have gone through everything, and we've talked and talked and talked, in terms of sort of directing people towards objectives, in terms of that sort of objective team flow and the way people move around the map and trying to encourage people to move to different points, I really think you're going to struggle to realistically do that very well. People don't want more stuff on the UI anyway, and it's like, adding any markers or any of that kind of thing is just not going to be welcome or probably very practical. So I'm not going to be looking at anything like that as well. So, I'm going to come up with some ideas. One I will put that together and we'll talk about it in a video. I was talking with my squad tonight as well, and Flappy Jacks he's from DICE as well in my squad, and we were talking through this thing, and we were talking about what we could think of and all this kind of stuff, and Flappy actually came up with a really good idea of objective points. And the way that would work is you gain objective points by obviously capping objectives and doing the objective things in the game, alright? And then those points would be specifically manually spent on unlocking stuff. Now, this is all kind of an idea. This also, I should highlight, this concept doesn't really work at this stage in the game. So again, perhaps it's not entirely practical for the CTE, but I do think it's a good idea, and I do think that if it was implemented at the beginning of a game, that it could have a strong positive impact on how people play the game. But right now, we've got to come up with some small ideas and thoughts about what it is exactly that we're going to do to improve team play. Now, I've got to tell you, like I say, I have struggled with this. I have thought about this for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, and trying to come up with anything constructive that's actually going to encourage people to push those objectives is incredibly difficult. I don't believe that points will make a difference. I strongly don't believe that. Maybe a minor difference, but not really. So I need to try and come up with some other things, and I'm going to be thinking about it literally all of tomorrow and the next day. I'm going to send this stuff off to them on Monday, so you guys have got until then to drop thoughts and feedback on here, and then I'll put the document together, I'll send it through, and we'll hopefully have a video talking about that as well. So I'm quite excited for this though, and I really appreciate the fact that they've taken the time to, you know, select me to kind of give them this feedback. I don't know who else they may have asked, but it's good to be recognised for what I've been trying to promote and what I've been trying to do, and the fact that they've come to me and asked for this direct feedback. I also want to point out that this is a real good opportunity for any of you guys, because, you know, this is not like a CTE forum post, all right? This is direct contact through straight to the devs. They're going to take this email that I send back through to them, and they're going to actively have that on board and discuss the things that are raised within it. Okay, so this is more important and more relevant than just a forum post, feedback, etc. So the stuff that we send through to them, they are actually going to listen to and look at and consider. So it's a really big thing. Okay, coming on to the channel now. I have been considering posting other stuff lately. You know, I've got a collab coming up today, tomorrow as well, which you're going to see. I still have this feel that I want to bring other things onto this channel. I occasionally have done these little one-hit things. I had that thing with my brother the other day, and I really enjoyed that video. It was a fun video, and I liked it. And I think there's nothing wrong with throwing out some kind of content here. So today I started running a poll, okay? I ran a poll on Twitter. Now, I also posted the links onto my 2 latest videos to give people on the site the opportunity. I'm also going to post the link here in the notes and the comments below. Please go and vote on that poll, because it will come through onto Monday. But one thing is already apparently clear, even though, you know, there's like 150 you know, votes cast right now on this poll, and one thing is very, very clear. At least 50% of those votes are in favour of some content other than FPS appearing on this channel. Now, that doesn't necessarily represent the entire demographic of people that watch my content. Now, I have struggled so hard to make this channel work. I have struggled to grow this channel. I started off doing a mix of things, then I've tried to focus it lately solely on FPS and that kind of content, that kind of stuff. But, you know, part of it is dragging me back towards wanting to do other things as well. Now, I am not going to be doing stuff like long LPs, Let's Plays, or I'm not going to be doing stuff like that, but I think what will handle and will be good for this channel is to start doing stuff like individual videos, perhaps with other producers, doing different games, mix it up, some interesting things happening on here, and games that I think are worthwhile. I'm also planning to bring back podcasts in a big way, doing some stuff with SoundCloud as well. So all that to come, but let me know your thoughts about that. What do you think about this channel? What do you think is going to be good for me on this channel? I want to hear your feedback about this. Now, you know, ultimately, I have worked very, very hard to try and grow this channel and push it in the right direction. I know that in some ways my specific personality doesn't gel as well as others in terms of, you know, the way that the content is built, but I try very hard, and I hope that over time, the more that I put into it, and all of this stuff will come together. And I do believe that, I think if I can present like a slight variety of content rather than just solid FPS all the time, people will absorb that, they will appreciate the differences and what's going on there, because I'm interested in so many different games. And, you know, Level Cap has said to me before, like, Luton, you know, you should just focus on this one thing if you want it to be successful. Just do the FPS, just do the tactical stuff. I do feel that, I really do. But, you know, having done that for the last sort of few months or whatever, like 6 months, it really hasn't pushed me forward any further than what I was doing previously. So I think just for my own satisfaction, and for the fact that I think it's a good thing to bring in variety, I think I'm going to sort of start bringing in some of that other content. But let me know your thoughts below, guys, and don't forget to put forward your ideas and thoughts about the CTE stuff. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.